And we are live. Just checking out my mic volume there. Looks pretty good. So how is everyone today? Obviously the big thing today is going to be the beta pack giveaway. We had 14 entrants right off the bat, as mentioned in the show notes, and I think I mentioned it in my show yesterday. Hey Virus, and hey Ghostly BG, Weird Mix Shorts, thanks for dropping by. As mentioned in my video yesterday and also in the show notes, this show will only be a half hour, so I'm going until noon Eastern time. Good morning, Gathering the Magic. Thanks for dropping by. Wibble, great to see you. Wibble dropping his wee as normal. So once again, like I said, this will only be going for a half an hour today. Unfortunately, I had forgotten about a yearly event that I, myself and my wife, and now my daughter, who is old enough to drink, attend. It is a brew fest that happens in the fall, this time of the year, that benefits local fire departments. So it kind of snuck up on me. I wanted to go ahead and have this live stream because obviously we were doing a beta pack giveaway, and I didn't really want to move the time around because everybody's kind of used to the time frame. So we'll go ahead and have that. Let's see. Wibble says no one's called me normal before. Yeah, I think I fall in that same category. Anyway, let's go ahead and get on with it. I did, I don't know what you all did this week. Of course, I bought a beta pack to give away. That was about $30 US. I should have bought it a few days earlier. I would have got it for a little bit less, but that's where that stands. I also put a little bit of money into some more SPS because SPS has been down in price. So I figured, well, why not get a little bit more to help out my battles percentage coming in. So that's mainly what I did this week. I also picked up my usual alpha card for my collection, and I picked up a, it was one of the life summoners. Okay, so the life summoner, Tyrus Palladium, that's who I picked up this week for my alpha collection going on. So what'd you guys do this week? Paolo, sorry, mispronouncing. Thanks for dropping by. I did my brawls this morning to get those done with because this afternoon I will not be here to do those as mentioned. The names I had come in we have 14 names that will be in the drawing for the beta packs, and those are up on screen now if you want to check those out. Thanks for everybody. I was hoping to get a little bit more response, but it is what it is, and I think everybody that's on the list who followed the instructions and got their name on the list has 14 names. That's a pretty good chance for a beta pack. So Gathering says SPS dipped 10% from my last buy, so time to get another 10%. Yeah, I did watch your video on that, Gathering. It's an interesting thought process you had. I'll be interested to follow along and see how that works out for you. I like to have good, solid. Unfortunately, I've not had like an investment plan. I've just been purchasing from time to time. Lately, up to a couple weeks ago, I had been all in on buying my stuff for land, and I had been preparing and buying everything. And I got to a point where I feel pretty good about getting started off with land. Obviously, I'm still keeping my eye on land plots to see if any good deals pop up. Yeah, so, and I felt that the price was down at a point where I would kind of if you're in on this game, I think at this point, and this is not investment advice, but at this point, SPS is down, and I think it's a good time to go ahead and buy a little bit. Obviously, I don't put a ton of money on it. I think I bought $35 US worth, and then I split it. That got me about 2,000 SPS, and then I split it between my two accounts because they both need it. So, Wibble says land is out. So been playing with that. Land is out. Land 1.5 is getting ready to come out. I don't know what you meant by that, Wibble. Gathering says, going to do a video on my guesses for the 40 to 50 land resources. What do you think those resources will be, and what will they be used for? I think some of them are going to be pretty obvious, you know, like wood, stone, ore, stuff like we've all been used to playing in other games and harvesting. What I will be interested in is the interesting ones that are not so obvious, like what comes out of a swamp, you know, things of this nature. I haven't put a lot of thought into it, so I can't really answer you right off. But I do think some of them right up front will be very interesting. And I'm interested in the fact that there's so many. I kind of figured there'd be like 10 or 15, but I didn't figure there would be 50. So to me, that just tells me that in the end, when we get to the point in 2.0 or beyond where we're actually creating items, there are going to be a lot different, a huge amount of different variations of recipes and such like that. So that tells me what that's going to be, you know, going forward. But obviously that's a long way off, so I haven't even really been thinking about that. Let's see. Paulo says, please make more content in TerraCore and Golem Overlord. I hear you, and I know I'm lacking. I do need to catch up with that because I am still playing. In fact, on an hourly basis, you know, I'm playing TerraCore and Golem Overlord. Virtually, you know, they do have their differences, kind of the same, but there's enough differences between the two to be worth it playing both of them. But yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I know I'm lacking on that. Virus says, at Gathering the Magic, I wonder if the refined resources will be considered part of the 40 to 50. If that's the case, there are 20 to 25 and their refined counterpart. Good point, Virus. Yeah, I mean, it could be a subset, and you have like 15 or 20 main resources, or maybe even just 15, and then the rest are combines or refined versions of those. So, you know, we've all played games where you have like some type of rough harvested wood, and then you go from rough harvested maple to you know, fine plank or refined planks, and then you go from planks to, you know, refined or, you know, higher quality, right? So they may be counting those. I don't know. Good point, though. Wibble is talking about Wrestling Organization Online instead of so I have topically seen that it's out there, and I haven't really dabbled in Wrestling Organization Online. It did seem interesting, and from the standpoint of, you know, buying your wrestlers and stuff like that, but I didn't even get any deeper than that. Wibble, are you enjoying that game? Do you think it's worth getting into? I might take a little bit deeper dive. Weird Mix Short says, I've been playing a lot of Fortnite with my friends lately. Nothing too interesting. Well, that's good to hear. I'm not too into Fortnite. You know, I'm not a big first-person shooter kind of guy. I have enjoyed those type of games in the past, but just going through the campaigns, just a one-man campaign. Call of Duty, especially when it was World War II, that kind of thing. But the newer first-person shooters, I'm not really into. But good to hear that you're actively gaming. Let's see. Gathering says, I come up with 39 resources. 7 will be the new food. Grain will be refined into bread, and 6 breads for the early for other splinters. I'll be interested to see. Like I said, I'm sure some of them might be. It'll be interesting. There almost couldn't be 50 right off the bat base level resources. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that you guys are right. I'm thinking the virus is right, that there would have to be some, some tiering of how the resources are being refined that kind of fits into that 50. My channel, not yours. Good morning, all. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Virus says the magical plots essences could be considered their own thing based on magic type as well. That's true. That's true. And I don't know if they're going to be considered totally separate or if they're lumping them into that big thing. I think a lot of this is just extrapolation and a thought process that we're going into and kind of comparing it to other games we've already played. And it's logical, but they haven't really given us a whole lot of information because they're working on just basically getting 1.5 out. The rest of this is some of it I'm sure they've laid out, and some of it is probably not even laid out or even thought about at this point. So let's see here. Richard, thanks for dropping by. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending upon where you are on this spinning globe of water and dirt. Wibble says, woo, game not launched yet, but should be out soon in its alpha testing. Well, keep us up to date. Let me know if you're getting into it. Let me know if you think it's something I should look into. It kind of topically seemed like kind of interesting. I don't really watch wrestling now, but I used to when I was a kid, back in the Hulk Hogan, Andre Giant era. And it seemed kind of interesting. Have NFTs that are, wrestlers and, that type of game thing. But it's not something I looked further into. So keep me up to date on it, and we'll see if we can jump into that if needed. Gathering says, wonder if they will have splinter-specific buildings. Basic sawmill for refining wood, dragon sawmill for refining wood, and if using dragon cards will be a bonus. My guess is the buildings will be the same across the splinters. My guess is that if you've got a sawmill, it's going to be the same wherever it sits, whoever makes it. Now, my guess is that since today we know that certain cards have bonuses on certain land plot types, I'm just trying to extrapolate this in my brain. I'm guessing that there also will be certain cards that have bonuses when combined with or working on a land plot with a certain building. That's my guess. That's kind of just the way the logic runs in my brain. So we will be giving away this card here in about 10 minutes or so I can get it inside the hour, or card, beta pack that is. And I'm turning around to look at my little piece of paper here. I did want to say shout out to B Jangles, who sent me 2 Chaos Packs last week. I kind of glossed over that, but I do appreciate that. I don't really make anything off this channel at this point, but I don't really ask for people to send me anything. It is nice to get a couple packs here and there. Who doesn't like opening packs, right? So anyway, thanks to B Jangles. Let's see here. International Travel Channel, Guten Tag. Thanks for dropping by. You got here just in time. Here in a few minutes, we'll be giving away a beta pack as announced last week. Richard says, did you look unsurveyed plots for potential good plots? Yes. I keep my eyes out for, unsurveyed plots. After we talked about it the other day, I did look around. I didn't find anything. Really, at this point, Really, at this point, I'm sticking with looking at good deals on already surveyed plots. I see your point. in that there are probably some out there that are unsurveyed and represent a good value at this point. But also, if you have an unsurveyed plot at this point, also you're not going to be able to get any of those packages on them when they, when you actually do survey them, which in the long run may or may not end up being such a big thing, especially when you consider that a lot of this is the in-run game. But to answer you specifically, immediately after we talked about it, I did some looking, but I haven't since then. I have on a daily basis been keeping my eye on, the prices and see if, at this point, I'm not really looking at common plots. I'm looking at kind of upgrading my commons to rares. And I also, there's been some groups of people that are the bigger names around Splinterlands that have been trying to condense their user base and trying to have a good group of people within certain areas and or regions. And I wouldn't be against going into a region with one of the bigger groups of people either. So. Gathering the Magic says, keep in mind too that you won't be able to build every building on every plot, and you'll have maybe 4 to 6 different options depending on the terrain type. Yeah, I mean, that's all logical, right? So if the land plot is not, say, like a forest and good at producing wood, you're not going to put a sawmill on it, right? So, and I think the logic is just going to extrapolate upon across there. I think there's going to be 1 or 2 buildings that are going to be good on most plots. There are going to be some buildings that are specific to the plot type and what it produces. If it produces wood, you're going to put a sawmill on it. If it produces grain, you're going to put a granary on it, or a silo, or if you're going to use it for storage, you're going to have a silo. I think the silo is going to be an option that may be available for all plots. We've talked about this in the past. I don't know how that's going to plan out. It's kind of like a multi-use. You're going to be able to store grain on it, and I'm sure there may be other buildings that are meant for storing other things. So a silo stores grain, something else stores wood, something else stores ore, etc. I don't know how in-depth they're going to get. And we've also talked about the whole idea of having a whole separate plot that you just rent out your space and other people can store it on it. So like you're just like a storage place. So we've talked about that idea before. So we'll see how it goes. Gathering says, good luck, everyone. Ghostly BG says, unsurveyed plots are for gamblers. You're right. And I do like the idea that Richard has, where if you examine the whole region and basically see the percentages of what's already been revealed, and finding a region or an area that has some unsurveyed plots and some of the nicer like epics and I think most of them at this point have already revealed castles and the keeps, but other types of higher quality lands may have not been revealed. The percentages are not there. Then maybe you have a little bit better of a gamble going into that region and finding a better plot. I like that whole idea, and that's very analytical. That's a very analytical approach. I like that idea. I just haven't got in that deep into it because there's been a lot going on here. So let's see here. Gathering says, some good deals on land. Missed my chance to grab some magical plots in Area 51 yesterday. And Richard says they are, but you can increase your chances of good plot. Yeah, like I said, it is very analytical, and if you get into it, I'm sure that you have a higher percentage if you examine, each plot in each region that is still available and unsurveyed. Before we get into the pack drawing, I just wanted to mention that I think that from a beta pack perspective, if I were to have a beta pack at this point, I would probably not open it up. At this point, I think your percentage chances of the value of the pack going up in value is higher than what you would possibly get if you just opened it. Let's go into the market and sort by Well, I was sorting by alpha earlier because I bought that alpha card. Let's sort by beta. Turn off summoners and just go to regular. And let's just see, we kind of know commons and rares, but let's see what you can get out of legendary. So really these cards, not even so much epics, but legendaries, when you're talking betas and opening a pack, we all know it's very slim chances of getting a legendary when you open in a pack. And a lot of us have opened a lot of packs. There are some of you out there who have opened a lot more packs than I have. But these would indicate the cards that you would have to draw out of a beta pack to really make it worth it drawing. And obviously there's some really nice cards here, but the percentage chances of getting them, drawing them out of a pack, are very slim. So I just wanted to take a look at that. Let's look at the epics. You know, even the epics are only worth, you know, like $5, $3. I'm sure these prices, you know, by the law of averages will go up as time goes along, and there's some cool cards to have, but they're not overall worth opening the pack value-wise, right? Even if you got an epic. So let's see here. Virus says, at Gathering the Magic, sorry, that was me that bought those. So Virus scooping in, still scooping up some land deals. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at them too. I was guilty of not looking at land yesterday because I have so much else going. I had 2 major projects at work going on, so was not paying attention to the land market yesterday. Gathering says, I wondered about that. Good buys. I wanted to get one of each magical land type. This is kind of annoying me because at the bottom of my chat where I'm reading the chat, it has this icon to leave, you know, an emoji, and it goes right over like the last word of what people are saying. So I kind of have to guess what people are saying. Kind of annoying. Okay, so with that said, let's go ahead and get the wheel going. So this is the list of people that replied and to my video and left a message as stated in the show notes and as I talked about last week. And thanks everybody for liking, subscribing, and all that. I do appreciate it, and I do appreciate the couple people that actually sent me packs. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. We got Shadow Blaster, Lotnik, Osiris Will, Spartacus 12, Virus, Crypto Beaver, Mayhem 9110, Sinister, Baby Puppy, Cantorus, Mind Blaster, Balsanga, Big Mac 250, and Ghostly BG. So let's see here. Just catching up before I spin this. Okay, I'm caught up. So let's go ahead and spin it. See who wins. Everybody cross their fingers. And the winner is Big Mac 250. Let me check. I'm checking the list. Okay. His in-game and YouTube name is Big Mac 250. So let's go ahead and go over here. Go into open. And this will have been the first time I ever bought a beta pack. So let's go ahead and transfer this to Big Mac 250. One card or one pack. And it is transferred. So there we go, folks. That was mainly what I wanted to get done today. Like I said, I have been kind of active in the game this week. Put a little money into SPS, bought that beta pack, bought a alpha card for my alpha collection as I usually do most times. I'm in the rares now. Like I said, I mean, this is just really from a collector's point of view. Let's go to, once again, get away from betas and go to alphas. It's kind of interesting to me. I mean, if you're a collector, you know what I mean. I started, you know, at this point several months ago, from the bottom up, from the cheapest to the most expensive, and just started buying. And like I said, my card this week was Tyrus Palladium, and 1 BCX cost me about $375 or so. So that's what I got him at. So with that said, anybody else want to have the last word before I cut this off? And like I said, I am sorry I'm going early today, but we have the event to go to, so that's my fault. And yes, I did my brawls. I already did both sets of brawls. Been okay at brawls these days since the big changeover. I'm getting about 50-50 or so. I'm fighting my main account generally is doing silver or gold brawls, and my secondary account does bronze brawls. Gathering says alpha cards are so cheap. Great time to pick them up. I agree. I think that, I mean, just using logic, and obviously this is not investment advice because I'm more of a card collector, but the numbers on alpha and beta cards are so small that Chaos Legion just dwarfs the numbers. And if you're in there for, you know, collection purposes, you know, it's good to pick them up. So I understand at a certain point the price is going to get so obnoxious on cards that I'm not going to be able to continue. But until that point, I'll keep going. You know, like I said, that summoner I bought today was like $375. So Gathering asks, how is your Golem Overlord account going? I'm still building my account slowly. Okay, good question. I am as well, and I've mainly been going at it from still a defensive point of view. I have been kind of dwarfed by some other people in my guild. They've been, I guess, doing a different approach, but lately I've been putting a heavy emphasis in upping my number of scavenger golems and my reputation. Okay, I am prestige 4 now. Up to about 3 weeks ago, I was doing some prestige, but not a lot. So lately, my main effort has been upping my scavenger golems, upping my banked to go along with that, and upping my reputation. Now, at the same time, every once in a while, I end up going ahead and upping my faith or fortification as well to go along with the whole defensive style that I'm playing to try to keep my stuff protected. It's been going pretty good, and I do a couple attacks. I mean, usually what happens is and I'm still on an 8-hour claim time. Usually towards the end of the 8 hours, I still have a little bit of buffer room, so I do 1, 2, 3 attacks to try to fill up to max, and then I go up and do my claim. So it's been working out pretty well. Thanks everybody. Let's see. Did you see the exploration tab on Golem Overlord? Exploration tab. Well, I guess not, since you just brought it up and I don't know what you're talking about. So I will have to look into that, though. Paulo says, in Discord, Yixen have been showing some awesome things for the future of the game. Yeah, I catch what he says once in a while. And I do agree, at this point, the value of part and shard has gone down, but it also means that it's cheap to get into the game now. And I like playing the game. I also like playing TerraCore. Next to Battle Expedition. Oh. Wow. Yeah, that's something completely new on me, guys. I will have to check this out and get back to you. This might be a video. Okay, well, that's something I got to look into. I love having these discussions because new stuff. There's so much stuff going on across the infrastructure of Hive engine games that can't keep up with it all. But thanks for bringing that up. Virus says I put half my parts into scavenger golems. I was putting a quarter into rep until I maxed out at level 9. So, and they've been increasing faith and fort with what's left. Yeah, I think at a certain point we're all playing. And at a certain point, I don't know if there's such thing as max level because it just increasingly takes more and more and more to up these different things. I do want to check this out. I'll probably check this out later tonight. The stats will be important in prestige. Yeah, I agree. Prestige is one of those things that kind of slipped by me, or I didn't prioritize it soon enough. There's a lot of people that was playing this game that saw where prestige was going and the importance before I did. So I'll fess up to that. But in the meantime, in the past several weeks, I've been pumping a lot of part into that, so that I'm trying to rep my, I'm trying to kind of equally increase my scavenger golems, my banked, my reputation, all at the same time. And it's a juggling act. So I also need to get to a point where I start increasing my golem charging station again. Thanks for the stream. Okay. Yeah, definitely. We'll look into Expedition and look forward to me, since I want to kind of, I know I'm guilty of mainly doing Splinterlands stuff, but I'll looking forward to a video on Expedition. I'll check it out and see what I have to say and put out a short video on it. Thanks everybody for dropping by. I do appreciate it. Once again, congratulations out to Big Mac 250. I appreciate everybody for dropping likes, subscribes, all that in my videos, and I hope you all have a good week. This has been Bronze Dragon, and I will see you on the flip side.